Hello friends, welcome to my channel Go Digit. Today in this video we will learn about Power Automate Desktop. So if you have seen my videos in the past as well, uh, I have created some videos on the Power Automate with respect to the Business Central, right? But today we will learn only and only about the Power Automate, like how to install this Power Automate software in your local, and along with that how we can create basic flows in your local machines to automate your uh, routine task, right? So as I always say that Power Automate or the Power Apps or the Power BI is not, you cannot see uh, as a different software apart from the Business Central. So if you are working in the Business Central ERP, then now you cannot be call yourself just a ERP developer or ERP consultant, but you have to become a Power ERP developer, which means that you know this complete package of ERP plus these Power softwares like Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI. So it is very essential that we should start learning these softwares as well. So that's why I'm starting this series where we can learn about this Power Automate from the scratch, right? So the very first step is that how to start with the Power Automate. So basically, as you can see, I have already logged into the Power Automate portal. So if you have to log in into this portal, you need to buy the license, right? It's not a free software, it's you have to buy it. Generally, if you own the subscription of the Business Central, you there could be high chance that you also have the license of this Power Automate as well. So try to log in using your credentials, and if you are able to, that's very good. If you don't, then you might have to own it. uh, in the past I also created a video on that, you can create a trial version of the Power Automate as well in case you really want to uh, test this thing and want to learn more about it via Microsoft 365 Dev Center subscription, right? So we will not cover it up, you can watch it in my earlier videos. But let's see that I have logged into this portal, right? And now this is where, like, if I wants to create any new flow, it gives me the option to create the cloud flow, automated cloud flow, or instant cloud flow, scheduled cloud flow. But this term called desktop flow is something which means which directly deals with your local system, local resources, right? So which shows that we can not only deal with the cloud resources, but we can deal with the local resources. But for that we can install this Power Automate software in your local machine. So when you click on this create, you can see here that this install button is showing up, and I can directly click on it and download the exe file, right? This is the first option. Second option is that you can directly on Google type install Power Automate Desktop. So when you type this and click on it, here you will get this link that install Power Automate using the MSI installer. And of course when you click on it, it will start downloading the exe file, and which you can, after downloading, just like a normal software we install, we can double click on it and directly start installing, right? You can click on next, and then regular path, install the Power Automate Desktop to build desktop flows. It install this machine runtime app as well to connect the Power Automate cloud portal, because as I said, uh, this software which we are downloading, it will be deal with your local, and it will be available in your local system. But because it is a part of the complete cloud platform. So this machine runtime software which gets installed, right, it links your cloud environment Power Automate portal through this local machine, and that's how whatever flows you will create here you will be able to see in your uh, cloud portal as well, right. Then required checkbox you have to take and click select this, and then you have to install this software. So that's how the installation is very simple. You can directly install it. Apart from this second method which I told you, that first you can download the CXE file from here, then you can download from Google. Then the third option is Windows Store. So if you're running Windows 10 OS or 11 OS, then here in this Microsoft Store you can type Power Automate, uh, or desktop or Power Automate itself. Then you can click on this get button, and then this software gets installed in your system, right. So after this installation you just have to type here Power Automate and then run as administrator. So when you open this software for the first time, right, this is how it will show up to you. This is the home screen, right. So as you can see from here, in the home screen itself we are presented with the Copilot, right, and we can use this Copilot thing to create our flows by passing some prompts, and then it will create the flow out of the box, right. However, we will before we start using this feature, we must have to know how to create the flows manually, right, whatever the options are available. Because if you know the complete background of the software, like how to use the options and the features available, then only you will be able to pass the correct prompt so that Copilot can help you to create the flows automatically, right. So once you open this up, of course first thing is that it will ask you to sign in, right. I have already signed in, so that's why these options are showing up for me. So first of all, you have to again sign in using the same credentials through which uh, in which you hold the license, and after that uh, you just have to either you can go to my flows and click on new flow, or you can click on this plus new flow, right. So let's click on new flow. So when you click on new flow, here the thing is that it is asking me to pass the name, right. So let's say first test flow. Okay, so let's click on create. So now it is opening up a different window apart from this home, okay, which is called the Power Automate Flow Designer. Okay, so let's wait for a few seconds and it will pop up soon, right. So now you can see that this is the window, or this is the designer window in which we have to add some actions in our flows, right. In this left screen you can see different options available which have the unique actions. For example, if you drill down this file, you will see different option with regards to the file, like whether you want to play with the notepad text file or CSV file, right. This folder option also, like if you want to play with the folders in your system, you can go with it, and so on, like system flows, run flow, loops, variables, like different options out there based on your need. But because we are starting from the scratch, so obviously these options are quite confusing if you are seeing it for the very first time, right. So let's start with a very basic flow, and then gradually we will learn every aspect of this software. So this is the left screen. In this middle portion you can see that currently it is blank, but whatever actions we will pick it up from here and move it up here, so it will start showing up, and then this will be your actual flow, which whatever actions you will see here, which will run and do your necessary task. In the right portion, you can see these four buttons. Right, the first button is itself Copilot. Here you can pass your prompt and it will create the flow out from scratch, right, for you. But of course, as I said, first of all, we need to know how to use this software manually. Then only you will be able to uh, correctly use the AI, right? So then this is the variable section. So variable section is just like a normal variable concept which we follow in the programming languages. So we have to we can create the variables out here, and then we can use them in our flows, which we will see soon. Okay, so let's see. First thing first is that let's use this folder option. Okay, so we have this action out here. So I can move this like this, drag and drop, or so for example, like let's drag and drop this thing. So as soon as I select this create folder, so it is giving me this prompt window, like I have to pass few things up here. In case you don't know about this section, then you can click on this more info, and it will open the Microsoft documentation for you in order to know that what exactly uh, you need to pass here. Okay, so the first thing is that create new folder into, like, as we are working on the Power Automate desktop, so it is talking about your local machine. So in your local machine, let's say you want to create a new folder. So where exactly you want to create a new folder? Let's say I want to create a new folder in temporary location. So I pass this thing. Okay, here you can like click on this and it will open the your local machine and explorer, and here from you can select the path. Or the first thing is that you are seeing this variable section of the option, but when you click on it right now, no variables to display, because you can see in the variable screen we have not created any variables so far. All right, no problem. Then the new folder name, here you need to pass the name of your folder. Okay, so the name of the folder, maybe you can say that uh, testing, or let's say Power Automate, like where Power Automate, or you can say like where PAD. Okay, so no, it's not a variable, so I cannot pass where, but let's say pad. Okay, so this will be the name of my folder. So after this, you can see here the variable produced. So it produced one variable with the name called new folder at the moment, but if I do not want, I can disable it, I can enable it, and I can pass the different name, right? Like create folder. We will like basically this variable produced is you can understand this like in such a way that this variable is nothing but uh, it's a name of this complete action which you have added, right? So that in case you will add some more actions below, then you just have to pass this name and it will understand that you're talking about this particular create folder action, right? Click on save, and now you can see here that my first action is available, and this is the flow variable, right? It is currently showing up here. You just save it, and now I can once it is saved, it is currently saving, you can see the status here saved, and now I can run this from here. So when I'm running it, status is running and it is done. So let's see. So you can see that folder is created successfully, right? I have not created this manually, but my flow automatically created this folder for me, right? So this is how the first action we have created, or we can say the first flow we have created. Okay, but let's move forward, that after this creation of this folder, let's say I want to create some text file into it. Okay, so I can select this file option, and here we can see that one option is here, the write text to the file. So the first section which we have added here, we drag and drop it, right? But now the other way is that I can select this or I can double click on this, and now you can see that second action is also added, and now it is asking me about the details. Same thing which I informed you in the first section, that in case you don't know about this, you can click on this and learn about the Microsoft documentation. Very simple. So now it is asking me about the file path. So where exactly I want to create the text file. Let's say I want to create the text file in ctemp under pad folder, which we are creating in the first step, and then let's say test.txt, right? We have to pass the extension because then only system will know that what type of file I am creating. Okay, here in the text to write, either I can create a variable and pass the information accordingly, or I can type here that this is the test file and use for learning purposes. Okay, append new line is ticked because let's say you are running it, because you're creating a flow which might require that you will rerun it multiple times. So multiple times if you are adding some text, so it will append the uh, if it will write your new text in the new line only, and it will not do other things, right? Now this other option, if file exists, let's say you already ran this flow for the first time and you are running it for the second time, then for those things, that if file exists, whether you want to overwrite the existing content or you want to append the content, right? Obviously like based on your requirement, you can select these two options which are self-explanatory in nature, right? I don't have to explain you that if you select this, it will remove or it will overwrite your existing content, whatever is written there, and it will pass the new information, or if you select this, it will add it in the new line, right? Encoding is the normal Unicode option. It is selected here and click on save. Okay, so let me do one thing. I'll delete this and let's say save. Okay, so you can see here that these two actions are there. Let me run it. It is done. So let's see, the folder is created and inside it the text document is also created, and it has the content is also showing up, which we have added up here, right? Very simple. So this is how we can create select the options and create some flows out from the scratch. Let's learn about this input output variable concept as well. Okay, so basically right now whatever the things we are passing up here, we are typing it manually. But let's say if you don't want to type it manually, but you want to use it for like in case you create some variable and pass the common value into it, so you, rather than typing the path or the name manually again and again, you can just have to pass the variable. So for example, click on this plus, and now you know that what type of variable I have to select, whether I want an input variable or output variable, based on like if you need some input from your user who is running, then based on that you can select this option. Let me select input first. So variable name, let's say I want to pass the path of the folder where I want to create a folder. So let's say I can say where folder name. Okay, data type should be text. Default value, if you can see here that add a default value to be used in the standalone runs. If you can pass the default value, it will create with that name only. So let's say the default name of my folder will be PAD. Okay, external name. External name is that if you want to run this flow not from the designer, which we are doing it from the past two time, but from the main window, then what type of name it should be visible, right? Pass, let's say pass folder name. Okay, let's say need to pass folder name. Okay, so this is the description I'm giving. It will help you when you it will act like a tooltip. Okay, mark as sensitive means that if you tick this up, it will be shown as like a password, like dot 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 dot. So basically, if you want to make it a very sensitive, which should not be visible just when the user is typing, then you can select this. Otherwise, no need. Okay, so click on save. So my first variable is created. Now let me click on it and click on edit. So you can see here that new folder name. Okay, so I can, rather than typing the value here, I can select this variable out here, where folder name. Okay, I can select this and you can see that it is showing me like this way. Okay, so click on save. So now my folder name is variable is created. Let's say I want to create the variable for the path as well. So let me create the path, where folder path, it should also be text string, default value, let's say temp, folder path. Okay, click on save, pass the folder path only, click on save. Now click on edit again, and here, rather than typing a manual, I can select this where folder path, save. Alright, so now I have created two variables in this first action, and because you can say that I'm using this in my second action, so rather than typing the information manually again, I can now click on edit, and since this is the where folder path, right? So now after this, I want where folder name should also be selected from the variable only, and inside this I want my file like this test.txt. If you want, you can create the name of the file also as a variable. Okay, so let's do this thing. I click on save and I'll create one more variable. Let's say where file name, it should be text test. Okay, file name, pass the file name. Let's mark as sensitive this one. Click on save, and now I'll do one thing. I'll click on edit and I'll remove this, select file name dot txt. Dot txt is essential because the variable name will only create the name of the file with that way, but what type of file it is, it only be signifies through the extension which you are passing. So that's why I'm passing .txt here. Click on save. Okay, so now you see that we have three variables which we have created out here. Okay, and it is showing up in that manner that create folder in this particular variable, and this is how it is will be visible and showing. So because we have passed the default value, so let's do one thing. I'll select this one and delete this, and let's run this flow from first time we will run this flow from the designer screen and see what type of output it generates, and then we will run it from the main window. So let's run it. So you can see here parsing and running and ready, done. Okay, so let's see. The folder name is created with the pad, which is a default value, and then test, which is again a default value. All right. However, it ran successfully, but the thing is, the name of the variable is like something input, like where you really want to see it, that some user should input something, right, which should pass into it, and then only it will run. So let me do one thing. I'll close this designer window and then come out in your main screen. So this is the first test flow now in your home screen is showing up, right, which we have created in the designer part. Now from here I can click on this run button, and now you will see that currently status is downloading and preparing, and now you see this input window screen, which we did not see in the designer part when we ran it, right? So because we have created the three variables, so it is showing us three variables list. And when we were creating the variable, we have passed the default value, so that's why it is showing up the default values for the folder name, for the folder path, for the file name, right? File name, you can see here that because we set it up as a sensitive, so that's why it is showing like this way, the default value. However, let's say I don't want the SPAD, but let's say uh, first flow, and the folder path should be not ctemp, but let's say inside this ctemp pad. Okay, but I don't have that, so let me create one. Okay, so inside this path it will create the folder with this thing called first flow, and the file name should be first flow, and you can see whatever I'm typing sorry, whatever I'm typing, it is showing it up as a sensitive information. I cannot see, but of course if I click on this, it is showing me this value. Sorry guys. Now click on OK, and it is preparing and running. Okay, it's done. So let's see the results. This is my pad folder. Inside this, system has created first flow folder. Inside this, the file is also created with the first flow name, and if you open it, no problem, it is having this text written, right? So this is how cool it is that we can just start using our like we can start automating the routine task which we are uh, doing in our local machine through this Power Automate desktop. And it's a very uh, powerful software, I could say, because as I showed you up that it has a concept of the programming languages as well, which where we can create the variables, take the input from the user, take take the output also, and then generate some new results out of it, and multiple options which I showed you up when we click on the new flow, right? Click on create and it will open the designer window. So various options are showing up which we will learn definitely week by week to understand more about it and then excel it in our routine task, at least, right? Save some time from it, because as you know, the world is moving at a very fast pace. Automation is around the corner. So we with the advent of AI, we must have to learn all the things which we can do via AI through, or do some automation, so that to save some time from the mundane jobs, right? So start using the Power Automate and start automating your routine tasks. That's it in the today's video. If you like it, please hit the like button and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video.